Hello Internet, you can call me Alec and welcome to Character Discussion. Today we're talking about everyone's favorite little purple dragon, Spyro the Dragon. Spyro the Dragon, I'm just gonna call him Spyro, first appeared in his game Spyro the Dragon. And basically, a spooky, scary bad guy. He's actually kind of adorable. Turns all the great dragons back into eggs, and you have to go around gathering up said eggs and freeing said dragons, and defeat the bad guy. Then he appears in his second game. And to tell you the truth, I don't actually know much about all the other stories because I didn't play Spyro as much as I did Crash or Sonic or Mario or whatever other game I talk about. I only really played one or two Spyro games. I mean, I love Spyro as a character, don't get me wrong. I just never had a chance or opportunity to really dive into a Spyro game. So instead, we're just going to talk about his character and his couple of non-Spyro appearances, non-main series game appearances. And a couple of factoids here and there. So first, as you saw, he's a little purple dragon. And he can breathe fire. And he can glide temporarily. And in the later games, he gets even more powers with like electricity and stone and stuff like that. And he can actually fly, and not just glide. That was in a series called Legends, which is not connected to the original series. But then we have Skylanders. Skylanders isn't a Spyro game, technically, but he is in every Skylanders game and is basically one of the main characters. He looks completely different compared to his original and what he looked like in Legends. This is originally what he looks like. This is what he looks like in Legends. Pretty spooky. Just kidding. Then we go on to Skylanders where he looks like this. What the fuck is this? Then he also appeared in a Crash crossover known as Spyro Orange and Crash Purple. We don't talk about those games. And in that one, he drove around in a fucking car. You heard me right. The adorable little dragon that's known for running around, gliding, and spitting fire drives an armored car that shoots missiles for most of his game. Most of his first ever crossover game with the other Sony icon, Crash Bandicoot. What the fuck? Then he appears in Crash Team Racing, the HD re-release. Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled is what it's called, where he looked like this. And there is several. Crash and Spyro has been really close since their first appearance, since they were first created. You could often find demos of Spyro games and Crash games, and demos of Crash games and Spyro games. Hint, them getting a crossover game with the Crash Orange and Crash Purple and Spyro Orange. Still prefer not to talk about those more than I have to. And now Crash Team Racing. He also appears as a Easter egg in Crash 4, where he's a little air tube thing right there in the beginning of the game. This. And yeah. He appears in Crash games. He appears in Spyro games. He appears in Skylanders. He didn't have a comic or cartoons, as far as I'm aware of. He could, but I'm not aware of them. And he doesn't have as many spin-offs as Crash does. While Crash has party games and other non-canon action platformers and kart racers, Spyro only had the original, a crappy sequel to the original trilogy, the reboot with Spyro Legends series, and then that's it. All the way up until we did the trilogy, the HD trilogy, whatever they called it, and that's it. Other than Skylanders and the other series that I'm not going to mention again, and Crash Team Racing Nitro Field. That's really it for the Purple Dragon. They didn't really use them as well as they could have, because all of his other games outside the main trilogy were bombs. Basically meaning they sucked. And Skylanders is pretty good, but it's not a Spyro game. Yes, he's in it. Yes, he's one of the main characters, but it's not a Spyro game. It's like saying, oh, well, Sonic's in Smash, so that means it's a Sonic game. No. And honestly, I'm just gonna end the video there. If you liked it, then leave a like. Make sure to leave a comment down below and subscribe. And I'll talk to you later. Bye bye.